to Miss Ashley Eckstein. Let's go, guys.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. Ahsoka lives in all of us. This is incredible. I honestly thought that at 5 o'clock on a Sunday, no one would be here. And I'm completely humbled and honored and blown away. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Denver has really proven to be a very heartfelt city for this convention.
Yes.
You guys, you're so amazing.
Incredible.
So we want to get to everybody, so I say we just dive right in. Let's start over here to the left.
Oh my goodness, what a great question. Well, I'll answer it 2 parts, because just from a performance standpoint, when Ahsoka came out almost 15 years ago in Star Wars The Clone Wars, who saw it in the movie theater? 15 years, okay, yes. My voice was really young. Ahsoka was 14. I was 25, I believe, but my voice sounded really young. So, if you go back to some of those early episodes, she'd be like, "You're stuck with me, Sky Guy." And we consciously aged her as the seasons went on. So at the beginning of each season, we would talk about how old she was and how much she had been through, and so how much I should age up my voice. So as the series went on, I'm trying to think some lines, maybe around season 5, she, oh gosh, I'm blanking, but she's like, "Anakin, you need to trust me now." So I would drop it a little bit. Then we fast forward to Rebels, where she was in her early 30s, and for once I was actually the same age as Ahsoka when I recorded her. So she said lines like, "I'm no Jedi." Which is clearly a lot older than she started, where she's like, "You're stuck with me, Sky Guy." And then the final season of Clone Wars was somewhere in between young Ahsoka and Rebels Ahsoka. And she said, "In my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what. I guess it's just who I am." And I love that line. So to answer the second part of your question, Ahsoka has changed my life. And as the series went on, I realized that not only I felt like, did I win the lottery to get to breathe life into Ahsoka, but I wanted to be a real life version of her. She inspired me so much. I wanted to live my life to be just like her. And so I started asking myself almost on a daily basis, what would Ahsoka do? And a lot of my decisions are guided by literally, how would Ahsoka handle this situation? And one thing that it was described to me over the past about 2.5 years, is honestly one of the things that makes Ahsoka so powerful is her kindness. And that was pretty profound for me, because I always looked at kindness as a weakness. I was always kind because my parents taught me to treat others as you want to be treated. But people would always say like, "Oh, you're too kind." And it was always said as a bad thing. They'd be like, "You have to be tough." And so I always thought that kindness wasn't tough. Kindness was weak. But actually, no, Ahsoka taught me that kindness is powerful. And it's what makes her so powerful. And she's kind and she helps others no matter what. And so Ahsoka's truly changed me as a person. And I will continue to strive to be a real life version of Ahsoka Tano. And the same goes for all of you. That's why I tell so many of you who I get to meet, Ahsoka lives in all of us now. That's why I've updated the hashtag to say Ahsoka lives in all of us, because I feel like we've all taken, after 15 years of Ahsoka, a piece of her into our heart and into our soul every single day. So thank you for the question. Like, you were Ahsoka. And I think that's why we all feel so attached to her, because as she was going through, her trials and tribulations, and as she was experiencing things for the first time, we were experiencing them through her eyes. But so many people that I met today, shared how they grew up with the Clone Wars and grew up with Ahsoka. Even though I was in my 20s when I, met Ahsoka, I feel like I grew up with her. I think no matter what age you are, we can, even though she's in a galaxy far, far away, we can all relate to her in some way. And I just feel so grateful that we had so much time with her. I think that's why she has become so powerful and has become this character that we all love so much, is that we've literally had 15 years of this character. It started with Clone Wars, but we have video games, we have books, we have toys, we have shorts, we have Star Wars Rebels, we have Rise of Skywalker, upcoming Tales of the Jedi, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, an Ahsoka series that's about to happen. I mean, there's so much Ahsoka, and you don't always get that with certain characters. So I just feel very, very privileged and blessed that I got to be a part of this character for so long. And thank all of you for sticking with her. And we're getting more. I mean, it's a really great time to be an Ahsoka fan. Thank you. I really, I shared this at Celebration. We haven't met yet. I really hope we get to meet soon. I'm trying to make that happen. And I heard she is as well. So I'm just a huge proponent in women supporting women and just fans supporting fans. Absolutely. But I think what she's done is great. It's definitely an older version of Ahsoka. And I as a fan, I'm eagerly awaiting to find out what's happened between when I left off as Ahsoka to now, to the character version of Ahsoka that Rosario's playing. So I think she's doing a great job, and I will always celebrate all stories of Ahsoka. So one day, trust me, the day that we get to meet, I will post about it immediately, and I think there will be many hugs and we'll geek out. Okay, well, I have so many favorites, but if I had to pick just one, it would be the season 5 finale, where Ahsoka walks away from the Jedi Order. I know, right? It's devastating. It makes me cry every single time, but that moment is so pivotal for her. I feel like it's truly what saves her. I think it's why, she's able to survive Order 66, and it sends her on her own path, and on the path where she becomes one of the founders of the rebellion. And obviously we're going to find out more about what she does now in the future, but I think had she not walked away, none of that would have happened. So that's probably my favorite episode. And then oh my gosh, I just blanked on the second part of your question.
Who do you think Ahsoka's best friend is?
My best friend. I mean, Anakin.
That's what
I think for sure, and I think that's what makes it so heartbreaking. Especially that fight in Star Wars Rebels. They truly love each other, and it's a love like a brother and a sister. It's a love like, two best friends. They are family. Star Wars to me is not about just the family that you're born with, but it's about your found family, and they're each other's found family, and that's what makes it so tragic. And I always wonder, I did ask this question, does Ahsoka think that if she would have stayed, could she have saved Anakin? And in my personal opinion, I think yes. I think she carries that guilt, thinking that she maybe could have saved him. But yeah, I think they have an unbreakable bond. Thank you. Thank you.
I think that's really what makes part of the show so amazing, is watching the back and forth between the two of them. Especially if you have siblings, or just a really amazing best friend, you really feel that.
Yeah, and I think in the season 7, so Siege of Mandalore, that's what makes, those moments with Ahsoka and Darth Maul so tragic, where Darth Maul is giving her correct information and she just won't believe it. And she's like, I know Anakin. Your vision is flawed. I mean, she just loves him, and she's like, there's no way that would happen. Honestly, that's my greatest regret from Clone Wars, is that we didn't film the recording of every single episode, because we got to record as a cast, And so it was always like an old radio drama where the whole cast would be there and we would record an entire episode together. And Dave Filoni really wanted us to record together so we could create that bond. And we did. I mean, still to this day, we are a family. Matt and James are with me often at conventions, and we just saw Tom Kane the other day, and we saw D. Bradley Baker, and we're very, very close, and we're also very much like our characters. So Matt and I very much have a relationship like Anakin and Ahsoka. James is truly like Obi-Wan. Dee is like Captain Rex. But it was very silly behind the scenes. We would have about 4 to 6 hours to record a new episode. I would say about 2 hours was recording and 2 hours was just completely cracking up. So we were always playing pranks and jokes on each other. One, since Matt's not here, I'm gonna share with you, because when you meet him, you can all help me out. At Walt Disney World, there's this restaurant called Whispering Canyon. And if you go to it, if you ask for ketchup, the waiter or waitress then yells out to the whole restaurant, "This person asked for ketchup." And everyone in the entire restaurant has to bring their bottle of ketchup and put it on your table. Well, my husband and I knew this, but Matt and his wife Angela, it was their first time at Disney World, they didn't know this. So we somehow got the whole restaurant, anytime somebody asked for ketchup, we got them to take it to Matt and Angela's table. Thus started the ketchup wars. And it has gone on for years now. So whenever I see Matt, it's like the battle of who gives each other ketchup first. But the fans now have been on Team Tano, and they give Matt just packets of ketchup whenever they see him.
Oh,
so if you
man.
meet Matt, yes, just bring him ketchup, bring him bottles, bring him packets, whatever you want, and just say that it's from me. Say it's from Team Tano.
Fully support this.
Great
Thank
question.
you so much.
It's close between the one that I just said about helping others, but I think my all-time favorite line is, "This is a new day, a new beginning." And I tend to go towards a more of really the kind of inspirational, meaningful quotes, but why I love that quote is I feel like it so represents Ahsoka, because to me, Ahsoka represents the light side of the Force. She just represents all that is good, all that is light, all that is right. And she represents hope. And there's so much hope in that line. I mean, every new day is a gift. And every new day comes with hope, and it comes with the possibility that something amazing is about to happen. And no matter what happened the day before, always in motion is the future. This is a new day, a new beginning, and every new day is a gift.
Awesome.
That's a great question. It would have to be R2-D2. R2 is my favorite. Yes. Thank you, I know. R2 doesn't get enough love, I think, because if you think about it, R2 is truly one of the greatest heroes in all of Star Wars. R2 is always there to save the day, and pretty much saved everyone's life in Star Wars, so it would be a completely different story if R2 was not there. So since R2 is also in Clone Wars, I have to say R2. But my husband's favorite character is Hondo, next to Ahsoka. And so I would say Hondo, if we're just talking about Clone Wars characters, I'd say Hondo as well. And part of that is because I got to be there with Jim Cummings, standing right next to him as he developed the character of Hondo. And I'll never forget it, because so much of what he did was completely ad-libbed. Like, he made it up on the spot. So he's so talented, and to see such an iconic character, I mean, a character that's now cemented in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, it's just incredible. So yeah, I share your love of Hondo.
Thank you.
Thank you. How many people? Star Wars movie is definitely Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
All right, what's your question? Well, one that I made up, actually, I didn't completely make up. It was actually Kristen Hidalgo made it up, and I jumped on board, was when Ahsoka and Sabine went to go find Ezra. She needed a little siesta, a little, vacation, so she went and started a pony farm. So I once had a birthday party, and the theme was Ahsoka's pony farm. But no, I'm not going to start a theory because Dave Filoni is always listening and watching and I don't want to get in trouble. But as a fan, I will say I want to know more about Morai because Morai, if you look at Morai, is the same colors as the daughter of the Mortis trilogy, and she represented the light side of the Force, and the daughter gave up her life. She died for Ahsoka, to bring Ahsoka back to life. So there's some sort of connection, in my opinion, my own fan theory, between Ahsoka, the daughter, and Morai, and I want to know what it is.
Same.
You can hear the exact text chain. But D. Bradley Baker texted me when he found out, and he was with Dave in the Star Wars Rebels cast, wine tasting in Napa. And I knew that Dave was there, so I thought they were playing a joke on me. Going back to the jokes, I was always like the butt of all the jokes. They loved to play pranks on me. So I thought they were joking, and I thought, okay, they're gonna get me in trouble. Like Dave wants to see if I'm gonna go tell anyone or something. And so, but Dee was like, no, we're back, 12 episodes, Disney Plus, and I didn't believe it until my agent then called me, told me that I was actually gonna go into work, and then I still didn't believe it. So I called Dave Filoni, and I was snippy, and I was like, do you have something to tell me? And he was like, what? And I'm like, I think you have something to tell me. So he did. Then he told me, and I was like, well, it would have been nice to hear it from you. So I do have a snippy side, which is what got me the part. When I was cast as the part, they originally wanted Ahsoka to have an Icelandic accent, and I butchered it. I couldn't do it at all. But when Dave Filoni, I'd been practicing before the callback, and when I said the first line in Icelandic, he stopped me, and he was like, no, can you do something that sounds a bit more Icelandic? And so I raised my hand and did something I would normally never do. I talked back to the director, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I am doing Icelandic. I don't know what you want. That got me the part.
Thank you.
So thank you. I knew right away how much of a game changer Ahsoka would be. And it more started out because, it's easy to forget, Ahsoka was the first female Jedi that was a lead character in the Star Wars universe. And that was a really big deal. I met someone today that said, she was able to play Ahsoka with her family. If you're in here, please forgive me, I forget your name, but raise your hand. And, oh yes, hi, okay. So that, before Ahsoka, there wasn't like a female Jedi that was on the screen every single week that girls could play. And so I knew that she was going to be a trailblazer. But as time went on, and especially as she walked away from the Jedi Order in season 5, there was something about that moment where it's like fans around the world collectively saw themselves in this character and related to this character. And I can't tell you, I shared this, if you saw my interview from Star Wars Celebration, I'll share it again here. I just want you all to know, when you come up to my table or when you talk to me, it's a safe space. And I know it's a long wait, and I want to thank everyone for waiting 5 hours today in line, and for those who are still waiting to meet me afterwards, even longer. But even though it's a short interaction, those couple of minutes, it's just us. And I want to hear your stories. I want to hear how Ahsoka has changed your life or saved your life. And those stories stick with me. They mean so much to me. And she's changed my life as well. And that's why I care about this character. That's why I care about each and every one of you. We share a bond of our love of Ahsoka. And the lessons that how she's inspired us. And we all have taken her with us in our hearts and in our souls. And I just want to thank you. Thank you all for being a part of Team Tano. Thank you for coming to meet me and see me and wait hours. Please know your stories stick with me. I think about them. I remember you. I look forward to seeing you again. And I just thank you. The force is strong with all of you. And I just seriously love everyone. I think Star Wars fans are just the greatest fans. I will get feisty if you say otherwise. You mean a lot to me, so thank you.
Ahsoka lives in all of us. Okay,